The Silent Sacrifice. My name is Rose. I am an educated woman, and like many girls, I grew up dreaming of a fairy tale life, marrying a highly educated man with a prestigious career, a large home, and a refined way of speaking. But life took a different turn. Due to difficult family circumstances, I was married to a man named Arthur. He was uneducated, rough around the edges, and worked what he claimed was a basic government facility job. From the very beginning, I resented him. I felt he was beneath me. I hated the way he spoke. I hated his lack of ambition, and ashamed to admit it now, but I used to pray that something would happen to end our marriage. I treated him terribly. I would constantly belittle him, snap at him, and throw tantrums. Arthur would usually just listen quietly, try to calm me down with soft words, or walk outside into the night to avoid arguing. One day, after a massive fight, I packed my bags and moved back to my parents' house, determined to demand a divorce. My parents tried desperately to reason with me. "Rose," my father said, "he is a good, gentle man. Has he ever raised his voice at you? Has he ever mistreated you?" To force their hand, I lied. I claimed he didn't support me financially and left me starving. My parents immediately called Arthur over. Sitting in our living room, looking tired and worn, my father asked him why he wasn't providing for me. Arthur looked down, his voice trembling slightly. "Sir, whatever I earn, after covering the bare utility expenses, I place every single dollar straight into Rose's hands. I keep nothing for myself." Determined to break him and make him ask for a divorce himself, I blurted out a ridiculous condition. "If you want me back, you have to give me $2,000 a month just for my personal allowance, not a penny less." The room fell silent. $2,000 was an impossible amount for someone in his position. Arthur sat quietly for a long moment, took a deep, exhausted breath, and looked up at me. "Okay, Rose, I will give you $2,000 every month. Just please come home." Inside, I cursed him, vowing to make his life a living hell. True to his word, every single month, Arthur handed me $2,000 in cash. To test his limits and drive him away, I demanded a brand new iPhone next. He looked overwhelmed, but whispered, "I'll get it for you, Rose. Just please don't talk about leaving me. I'll do whatever it takes." I retaliated in petty ways. I would deliberately ruin dinner, adding too much salt or burning the food. He would come home completely drained, sometimes collapsing onto the bed in his clothes from sheer exhaustion, without ever uttering a single complaint about the food or my behavior. Then came the afternoon that changed my life forever. I was in a taxi heading toward the luxury shopping district downtown. As the car crawled through the chaotic, crowded terminal near the Central City station, I looked out the window and my heart completely stopped. There, in the scorching midday heat, was Arthur, the man I looked down upon, the man I called ignorant and useless, the man I treated like dirt, was wearing faded, torn clothes and broken shoes. I watched in absolute horror as he hoisted massive, heavy trunks onto his shoulders, his legs trembling under the crushing weight, to lift them onto the roofs of transit buses. A bus driver barked an order at him, and Arthur hurried, wiping the sweat from his eyes. He stopped for a split second by a wall, pulled a dry piece of bread from his pocket, rolled it up, and took a bite while continuing to carry bags with his other hand. I felt like the ground beneath me had swallowed me whole. I couldn't breathe. Why am I not dead right now? I thought, tears blinding my vision. This man was literally breaking his back, selling his sweat and physical health in the most punishing labor imaginable, just to hand me the luxury allowance I demanded. When the rush cleared, I saw him slide down against a brick wall, sitting right on the dusty pavement, his head in his hands from pure exhaustion. He suffered through that agonizing labor all day, only to come home and suffer through my verbal abuse all night. I told the taxi driver to turn around immediately. I went home, locked the door, and cried until my throat was raw. Arthur loved chicken roast, but I had never cooked it properly for him. That evening, I prepared his favorite meal with the utmost care and waited. When he opened the front door, he looked startled to see me standing there. He offered a gentle greeting and walked toward the kitchen to heat his own food, as he usually had to do. When he lifted the lid and saw the fresh, warm roast, his face lit up like a child's. "Rose, you made this? It smells incredible." I couldn't speak. I just sat across from him, watching him eat, my heart aching with a profound, crushing guilt. He'd carried such an immense burden of pain and poverty, yet he never brought that stress inside our home. He never made me feel the weight of his struggle. After finishing his meal, Arthur reached into his pocket, pulled out a neat stack of bills, and placed them on the table. "Here is your $2,000, Rose." I burst into loud, hysterical sobs. I fell to my knees, wrapping my arms around his worn, calloused hands. "I don't want it, Arthur. I don't want the money. I don't want the phone. I don't want anything. Please, just forgive me." He looked completely bewildered. He gently lifted me up, wiping my tears with his rough thumbs. "What's wrong, silly girl? If it's not enough, I can work a few more hours. I'll find a way. Just don't cry, and please don't leave me. You were so innocent and fragile. Where would you go in this harsh world if you left? I love you too much to let you wander." Hearing his pure, unconditional love, the walls of my vanity crumbled completely. From that moment on, Arthur became my entire world. As women, it is so easy for us to complain. We casually throw around bitter words like, "If you couldn't afford a lifestyle, why did you marry me?" We start fights over material things and compare our lives to others, but we rarely see the invisible sacrifices of a husband. We don't see the silent degradation, the physical pain, and the absolute exhaustion a man puts himself through just to shield his family from the harsh realities of the world. Everything is not about money. I swear I have found a profound peace and joy in Arthur's humble embrace that no luxury car or mansion could ever buy. To understand the vulnerability and devotion of your partner is the greatest blessing in marriage. Arthur is my sanctuary, and I am proud to be his wife. If you enjoyed this story, please support our page by sending stars and becoming a subscriber.